Hello, everyone. My thumbnail was how my progress on my sock. I didn't get much farther. Got a little bit farther, but not much. Once you're done with the toe, you're doing extended single crochets on this pattern. Takes some thinking on my part because I just want to do single crochets. How are you all doing today? I had a decent night's sleep. Hope you all did too. I really do. I hope you all did have a wonderful night's sleep. Excuse me. How are you? How are you? Somebody gave me a thumbs up. I just had eggs for breakfast. Good morning, Marshall. How are you? You're the first one, Marshall. You're the only one in the chat right now. But that's pretty good. I don't normally get people right away. How are you? I'm still working on my sock. I didn't get very far. I got maybe half the bottom of my foot. I'm doing good. I'm blessed and highly favored, trying to work a ribbing for a sweater, working the neck. That is wonderful, Marshall. Good morning, Kai. How are you? Can you hold up your sock? This is what I've got so far. I'm using cotton collage yarn, and the sock pattern I'm using is the first one that. Hi, Sue. How are you? The sock pattern I'm using is the first one that DK Jennifer, Dinky Crush Jennifer, put out. The Ultimate Crochet Sock, I think it's called. It's by Interweave. It's a free pattern. Hi, Sue. This is what I've got on my sock. How are you? Yeah, doing the bigger socks is what I'm gonna do next time. I'm good. Just woke up and watched your devotional and I commented on it. Awesome. Thank you. I like doing the devotionals. I'm wondering if I should start doing them live. But I know some people don't get up that early. You're doing good, Miss Michelle. Wish I could see it. Well, thank you, Marshall. You are a great reader. Thank you. I'm a teacher, but that's what I was educated for. I don't like the way I sound. And I don't think I read very well in class. So I kind of like the older kids because I don't have to read to them. I'm kind of, I belittle myself a lot. Because from that big accident, I had to relearn how to talk. I had to relearn how to use my vocal cords. Yes, and I read like you with fluctuations. Sometimes, if I have a thought that I want to verbalize, I have to think about breathing midway through what I've got to say. There are times I run out of air in my lungs to finish my sentence. Sue says, yes, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad people appreciate it. Because for a while, I thought, before I started a YouTube channel, I'm like, what? I'm putting myself out there. It was a big deal. Marshall says, that's like me losing my sight. I had to learn everything over. That must have been hard. I couldn't imagine losing my sight. Sue says, hi, Kai. I had to relearn how to talk, how to walk, how to feed myself, everything. Sue says, hi, Kai, and hi, Marshall. My legs are still bothering me, but not like they were. Um, getting in and out of a car doesn't cause so much pain anymore. So, and that's due to Pilates. I have a Pilates appointment this afternoon, 12:30 my time. Line Stitches says, yes, it was hard, but by the grace of God and my family, I'm getting through it. I just have to remember that my cane, it's my eyes, and not to be ashamed of what I'm going through. You know, God puts us through things for his glory, for his story. And it might be the other people we touch through our disabilities that brings glory to God. And Marshall Lee says, hi, Sue. Hi, Kai. And good morning. And Sue says, I'm glad you have been continuing Pilates for your health. Yeah, so am I, because I told them at Pilates if it wasn't for Pilates, I'd be probably in a wheelchair. Walking is a challenge for me. Walking more than a block, it hurts. Kai says, hello, all blind stitches. You should be proud of all you can do. Yeah, if you can knit and crochet while you're blind, that's amazing. Kai says, hello, all blind. Yeah, and Kai says, so glad you found Pilates, Michelle, and that you are sticking with it. If I don't stick with it, I may as well die. That's kind of my thought process on it. Sue says, I think you are a great example of how far you have come along because you encourage others to not give up. Thank you. And Kai says, my husband and I are so blessed to have good health in our early 60s. Yes, you are. My husband hurts every single day. He's 57, almost 58. So my husband talks about going on the road and living like you do, Kai. And hi, Samantha. And if I do that, I won't be having Pilates. I won't have a church. My church family is everything to me. Okay, here's my sock, Sue. I don't get to work on it very quickly when I'm talking, but I am working on it. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Sue. Sue says, looks great. How are you, Samantha? How's your wrist? I'm back up to 480 now. My numbers were fluctuating so bad, and I kept getting more subscribers, and my numbers kept going down. Good morning, Tina. How are you? It is definitely not for everyone. Kai says, I do miss some things like a home church and room to store lots of yarn. Yeah, I'm wanting to, because we don't live near family. So my mom's on the East Coast. My kids are in Colorado for now. Kemper says, good morning, Marshall Lee. Good morning, Kai and Sue, says Tina. And Sue says, I found out last night that my cousin lost her balance and twisted her leg and broke both lower bones in her lower leg. Oh, no. Well, Sue, I broke both of those bones, the tibia and fibia, in my left leg when I was riding my bike when I was 11. This was after the accident. I fell off with my bike on the cement, our patio, which was cement. Broke my leg and those two bones right then. Camper says, good morning, Samantha. Sue says, good morning, Tina. Prayers. Kai says, oh, how awful, Sue. My mother-in-law did that and lost her leg. I hope she heals quickly. Yes. We'll be praying for your cousin, Sue. For some reason, it's not wanting to. Sue says, "Oh my goodness, Michelle, 11 years old, that must have been very painful and traumatic." It was, but I didn't lose consciousness from that. Whereas I lost consciousness and nearly died from when I got hit by a car. So it wasn't as bad. But even to this day, when I fall, lose my balance and I fall, it's never gracefully. Camper says, that sounds painful. I remember when my son broke his femur in a motorcycle accident. Yeah, in my accident, I broke both my femur and my lower right leg. And they had to re-break it twice because it was growing faster than my right leg because they were pulling it to set it. It was in traction for 3 months. I've been fortunate not to break anything from accidents other than my finger. Yes, Marshall says, Miss Michelle, I think God put us on here to show people that miracles do exist, and I think we're sharing our testimony with the whole world. That's exactly what we're doing, Blind Stitches. That is exactly what we're doing. And everybody who's been in a issue, had such trauma in their lives and can live to tell about it, they're sharing theirs too. And that's why we're on this earth. That's the way I look at it, Marshall. Sue says, "Oh, Michelle, you have been through so much." Yes, I have. But God is good. And that's good, Tina. Breaking a bone isn't a problem, isn't much unless it's a traumatic accident that caused the broken finger or, breaking a bone. My husband broke his femur in a motorcycle accident too, back in the 80s. He was in the Navy at the time. I didn't know him then. And exactly, Marshall. Yeah. And Kai says, the strength in this group is just amazing. You are all such an inspiration. Thank you, Kai. Tina says, I was given a miracle during the opening prayer in church one morning. I did not ask for it. It was just given to me. Isn't God good? God is so good. Not only did I break my legs, I had severe head injuries. I had to have head surgery. And I was in a coma for 3.5 weeks. Yes, God's grace is amazing. And that's what we're talking about in the devotional today. And that He's always proud of us, even when we feel we don't deserve it. That is amazing, Tina. God bless you. Yes, Sue. I agree with that. You have been blessed. And Marshall says that's what I want to be. It's full of just an inspiration. The fact that you can crochet and not see, Marshall, is phenomenal. You have quite a testimony, Marshall. I still have coordination problems, which makes me slow at crocheting. But I enjoy it. Tina says, 2 instances God came to me, and both times it scared me. In the middle of the night, I believe with all my heart it was God speaking to me with a very short message 3 times. Marshall says, for me, because I used to do it before losing my my comma site, it wasn't as difficult at first, but my problem was sticking to my counts, and I am feeling my stitches as I go. Awesome. Tina says, I was barely awake and me and heard the second time. Thought, am I dreaming? But the third time I knew I wasn't dreaming. The same message was be still. Yes, that was definitely God, because he says that in his word all the time. Be still and know that I am God. Jesus, when he was rebuking the waves, said, be still. That was God. Be still and know that I am God. Hi, Daphne. How are you? I've always been a churchgoer. My family, we always went to church. But I didn't really learn the Bible until the last 24, 25 years or so, when I started reading the Bible for myself, when I gave my life to Christ. Now, mind you, I've always had God in my life, I've always prayed. Hi, Daphne. You're probably thinking, what did I walk into? I'm still working on my sock. See, Daphne? Sue says, that is amazing, Tina. Yes, we need to be still to hear what God wants us to do and to feel his love. Yes. And Sue says, hi, Daphne. Tina says, I didn't think of it. And that night, I prayed harder than I'd ever prayed when he came to me. My first thought was it meant to be at peace and calmer, but later realized the real message was God. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got a story I want to share. I don't know if it's going to mean anything to you guys, but a guy with special needs at one time freaked me out at church. He was helping in the nursery when my husband and I were in there, well, the 4-year-old room. And there were about 30 kids, and there were me and my husband and this gentleman with the special needs. He kept trying to approach me, and he had a look in his eyes that scared me. And I was freaked out by him. And I told my husband, I don't want to work in the nursery anymore because that man is there and he freaks me out. And so we stopped going to that church. And I was listening to Christian radio, and I was crocheting while my husband was downstairs with the kids watching a movie or something. And God told me through the Bible preaching on the radio, I heard God say, give that Afghan to that man. That special needs guy. And so I thought, yes, I'm going to make this Afghan. And I told my husband what had happened and that I was making this Afghan for the guy who freaked me out. And when it came time, I chickened out. I didn't want to face him alone. And my husband was working all the time, so he couldn't be there with me. So I talked to a pastor, said, can you give this to that man? And they wouldn't do it. So I gave it to somebody else. Well, then 10 years later, I see that guy again at Walmart. And by this time, he was in one of those wheelchairs. And he was there, and it freaked me out. Those feelings of being afraid of him came over me again. And my heart started beating and everything. And I talked to God about it, and I heard it again. Make him the Afghan. An Afghan. So I made another one. Because I had already given that one, the one I made, 10 years prior to somebody else. So I made him an Afghan, and I told my husband, look, we're going to start going to that church again because I got to see this guy. I got to give him the Afghan. And so we show up and we're at the early service. And that guy, I see him walk out across the room into the foyer area. And I said, Casey, he's going out there. Can you go get the blanket? And I'm going to go out there and see him. So I went out there and I talked to him and I told him, God told me to make you this. And he was very appreciative. He accepted it. And now I don't have any problems with him. So just letting you know, when God tells you to do something, do it. It's kind of a long story, but Sue says, hi, Daphne. Camper says, I didn't think of it. And that night I prayed harder than I'd ever prayed when he came to me. My first thought was it meant to be at peace and calmer, but later realized the real message was God. Mm-hmm. And they say you need to pray with your whole heart. Yes. And Daphne says, I'm almost finished with the head I was working on. Cool. I didn't get a chance to start the sock yesterday. That's okay. And Marshall says, hey, Miss Daphne, good morning. And Daphne says, hi, Marshall. And Tina says, you first thought was it might make your situation even worse. There is fear that comes up. I could have been a test by God himself. Yeah. Good morning, Daphne, says Tina. This is my sock so far. I'm not sure if it's getting bigger or if it's a figment of my imagination. Sue says, I have the same feelings, Michelle, when I'm making a blanket. Something comes over me and God puts the thought in my mind who the blanket is for. Yeah. And Tina says, phone words don't always get it totally right. Yeah. So yesterday afternoon when we were on a live, my husband pops in during his lunch break at work, or a break anyway. That was funny. But last night we went out to dinner at the shrine and we bought tickets to go to they're having a dinner dressy type thing. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday evening. So we're going to that. Daphne says, good morning, Tina. So how are you all doing? Tina and Daphne and Marshall, Sue, Hi. So good to have you all in here. Thumbs up, please. There's only 5 thumbs, 7 people. You going to wear your new top? I'm thinking about it, but I need to get a skirt or nice pants to wear with it. Sue says, I'm doing well. I'm glad to hear that, Sue. What are your plans today? Thank you for adding the thumbs. Any plans today? Sue says I might be going shopping with a fellow YouTuber whose channel is the Purple Yarnivore. I know her. I'm subscribed to her. Her name is Trish, and she is really struggling financially. So I'm buying her groceries. Oh, that is so sweet, Sue. I guess she lives near you? Daphne says I'm doing okay. I still feel like I felt yesterday. Hope I can get some energy to go to the store and cook dinner. Wow. I remember feeling that way. I still don't feel that great, but this is my new normal. Yeah, she lives here in town, and so does Amber from Fostering Crochet. Awesome. That's great, Sue. Wish I could. Wish some of you Yarny people live near me. Kai says, you are such a blessing, Sue. I, I think you meant I love the purple yarnivore. Tina says, I have issues sleeping. Yesterday I was not able to stay awake. It was even hard getting up. I thought it was just not wanting to go to the doctor's appointment, but all day and evening I kept falling asleep. Hi, Anita. How are you? I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good. Working on my sock. Tina says, "You are sweet, Sue. That's a very Christian thing to do." Thanks, Kai, says Sue. Kai says, "We are at a state park in Ohio, so we plan to go for a walk and explore the park with our labradoodles." Cool. And Tina says, "Good morning, Anita." Anita says, "Hi, Tina, Kai, Sue, and Daphne." "Hi, Carol. How are you?" Carol says, "Good morning, Michelle." Sue says, "Thanks, Tina. It's a joy to help others." Yes. And Anita says, "Hi, Carol." Sue says, "Good morning, Anita." And Camper says, "Good morning, Carol." How are you doing, Carol? And Sue says, "Good morning, Carol." Daphne says, "I'm trying to accept what I deal with, but everything seems like I have a new symptom that comes out of nowhere." Uh-huh. Carol says, "Having my first sip of coffee." Glad we could be part of it, Carol. I'm still working on my first sock. My husband and I went out last night, and so I didn't go live last night. I didn't do crocheting last night. Daphne says, "Hi, Queen Mama Hillbilly House with Anita." Anita says, "I've got my 2-year-old granddaughter today, so I probably won't get much accomplished." Probably not. Sue says, "I get my food stamps today for my groceries, but I'm using my other debit card to buy hers." All right. And Sue says, "Laugh out loud, Tina." Tina says, "When you help someone, no matter how small it is, you have a wonderful feeling, even if they say nothing in appreciation. You know in your heart it was the right thing to do, and you smile inside." Sue says, "Oh, I mean, Anita." Yep. 2 nights ago, I called a friend that I hadn't seen in about a month. Normally, we just work out together, and that's it about it. And I invite her to church things. I decided to ask her to go for coffee. So we met at a little diner and we had coffee. Carol says, "Good morning, my yarny friends, Tina, Anita, Sue, and Daphne." Daphne says, "That's nice, Sue." Sue says, "Good morning, Carol, prayers." Daphne says, "Hi, Carol's Crazy Crochet and More." And Camper says, "Anita, they don't call them terrible twos for nothing. All you can do is hug them, love them." Sue says, "Yes, Tina, I'm so happy to help others." Great. Um, yeah, when I was complaining about my kids when they were 2 years old And I would say, it's the terrible twos. And my neighbor would say, no, it's the trying twos. Or no, the teachable twos. Or she wasn't agreeing with the negative aspect of it. And then I would call my mom and complain about what a day I've had and what the kids were up to and how terrible it was. And my mother laughed and said, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. And I learned that, yeah, when they're older, you get bigger problems. Like calls from the police. Yeah. But, my kids are all doing great now. So Anita says, I know Tina while pulling my hair out. And Tina says, that is so true. Anita says, my first four were all well mannered and well behaved, even at 2. You're blessed. Tina says, not mine. Mine either. My son, I couldn't keep up with him. When he learned how to walk, he was full speed ahead. He ran everywhere. Trying to keep him under control was awful. I would take my kids to McDonald's play place to have them burn off some energy almost every day. So hopefully they would come home and take naps. It didn't work. My daughter would take naps, and my son did for the first he didn't sleep when he was colicky. For the first 6 months of life, he only slept at night. But he slept like 8 hours, 10 hours. Sue said, no, not mine either. And Anita says, yes, I was blessed. I was so thankful when I'd go in a store seeing kids run around yelling. Mine would be right beside the cart. How wonderful. Most of the times mine stayed right near me in a store. Unless we were looking at things, like shopping for clothes. Then my kids would go hide in the, the middle of a clothes rack and make us all worried and stuff. And then we'd hear my son giggling. So we knew, oh, he's here somewhere. We can hear him. Tina says, my son was ADHD, and at 15 months old, I prayed, I hope he's not getting possessed or something. My son was diagnosed with ADHD only when he was in the Army. He's trying to get out of the Army, or he is getting out of the Army this month. But they're retraining him to work in the civilian life because he was shooting people, infantry in the Army. So he he's being retrained, but his mind can't stay focused. And so and he's been in for 6 years now. So and he's got a lot of health issues now, physical ailments due to being in the Army. Tina, bless your heart. I have relatives with ADHD, so I understand what you mean. It runs rampant now. Schools were telling us he has ADHD, he needs to be put on Ritalin, all this stuff. And it's like, the doctors never said that. You're not going to diagnose my kid. And my kid's grades were never that bad. He never failed the class. So don't tell me, when a teacher gives you a diagnosis that only a doctor should give, the doctors never said anything about, and we never had concerns about his grades. Tina says, I think he got it from me. After dealing with him, thinking I felt very sorry for my mother because in many ways I was worse. My son got it from my husband, and that's what he would tell people. He was no worse than I was as a kid, and my brothers were the same way. Just active boys. Sue says, our tornado drill just went off. It scared me, then remembered that Wednesday is when it they make sure it works. Yeah, ours is on Mondays at noon when they make sure it works. Anita says, I think a lot are misdiagnosed simply because people don't want to deal with them. And that's how we felt that his kindergarten teacher didn't want to deal with him. So Tina says, I wish I'd had some help me. I struggled a lot in school. and had no idea what the problem was. Hi, Liz. How are you? We're talking about ADHD. And this is my sock. Anita says, hi, Liz. And Liz said, good morning, everyone. And they never thought girls had that problem. Most of the time, girls don't. Sue said, good morning, Liz. Daphne says, hi, Liz. Love your socks, says Liz. Thank you. I don't know. I think it's getting too wide. I don't know. Is your sock growing around? I don't think I've got more stitches. I'm just doing one stitch in each. So it shouldn't be because but it's got to fit over the top of my foot, so I'm just going to keep working it. Are you still increasing? No, I am not. Hi, Anita and Tina, says Liz. Hi, Sue. I am not increasing, Sue or Tina. Liz says, good morning, Daphne. Anita says, one of my grandsons I'm raising, his mother told a bunch of lies to get him diagnosed with several things. They gave him meds and a monthly check. Sue says it kind of does look wide, but I have a wide foot too. I don't know. I'm not adding stitches going around. So I'll count them. When we got him, we took him to be evaluated. He just needed therapy. She was taking the meds. Wow. How sad, Anita. Yep. How sad. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait. They're so small, I gotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I guess I did go up. I've got 54. That is good, Anita. Oh no, that is sad, said Sue. I know, Liz, they do anything for drugs, says Anita. Sue says, I agree, Anita. Liz says, not working today, Michelle? No, I have Pilates today. Anita says, y'all have a great day. I'm going to say hi to Charity. All right. Well, tell her hello for us, too. It did grow some. Sue says, have a good day. We'll talk to you later, Anita. Take care. I guess I'm going to go find where it stopped at 48 and go from there. So I'm going to be taking a lot out. Camper says, going to the in the round, I do that somehow. You figure you're doing one single crochet or extended single crochet in this case in every stitch. You wouldn't be growing if you're doing one in each stitch. Better now than the whole foot. Uh-huh. But that's like 2 days work that I'm taking out. We see it at a different angle. That looks, I'll have to count, but to me that looks about right. Ten, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Well, from here I'm at 50. I was diagnosed with bipolar and borderline personality disorder and generalized anxiety and PTSD, says Sue. Camper says, I've done that with hats. By the time I was done, thought, what happened? Nobody has a head that big. Yeah, my sock was getting awfully wide. So you wonder how that happens. Because I should have 48. I guess I'm just going to have to count. Carol says, Sue, I have bipolar disorder as well. Hmm. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Tina, Sue says, my BPD causes me to be extremely scared that I will be abandoned, and it's so scary. And Tina says, that's when you learn to use stitch markers. The going kind of up and over is where my increases happen, I think. Sue says, Carol, do you have one or two? Camper says, I learned. Yep. And I took it out when I started ripping it out. Let's see. Five, 30, 55, 40, 40. Sue says, I have bipolar 1. God helps me, though. Carol says, I have bipolar 1, fast cycling mania, and depressive episodes. Camper says, Sue, you've overcome a lot. Pray and keep God with you at all times. I still deal with depression issues, maybe not as severe, but if not for God, I'd never have made it this far. Carol says, my psychiatrist is amazing and has me on some wonderful meds. Ladies, I'm having problems with my sock. Sue says, yes, I'm now on meds that are working. Liz says, what are you doing, Michelle? I'm ripping out most of my sock to find where I made the mistake. Michelle, do you need to frog back? Yes, I frogged back to there so far. I gotta keep counting it, and I need 48 stitches and I've got well over 50. Two, 3, 4, 5. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, 49. Okay, I can make it work from here. Meds always gave me side effects and more issues to deal with. Me too, Tina. I learned I needed more B vitamins, mainly that really helped. Good. Liz says, wow, I would be mad. Well, yeah, I got all this taken out. I take vitamin B plus. What brand, Sue? Because I take B vitamins uh, but I'm always looking for better vitamins. What brand of vitamin B plus do you take, Sue? I would have to go look. Okay. Liz says I took myself off one of my medications and I can think and remember things now. Well, that's good. Tina says, make sure you take folic acid. Yes, it's the one that helps the most. I should have figured it out myself because I felt really good while I was pregnant taking the vitamins you get. Yep. One, two, three, four, five, six. Pharma Plus. Okay. I normally get my vitamins off Amazon. I get mine through my United Health Insurance. Okay. Mm. Camper says they have a folic acid they prescribe that insurance don't want to pay for. Then read all the other additions they add in. It infuriates me if it's a vitamin. What noise is that, Michelle? Is your hubby home? No, hubby's not home. I've got one of those vacuums that vacuums around the house when, by itself. So that's what the noise is. Tina says you have to be careful with vitamins and try and get organic, or else you're paying for synthetic chemicals. The two biggest are made by Big Pharma. Yeah, Sue, it's kind of nice. We move it from the upstairs to the downstairs. Last week it was in the basement for quite some time. Now we just brought it upstairs this weekend. Sometimes gets caught on things though. I have a vacuum cleaner called Dan, my boyfriend. Mm. Tina says the question is why they add the chemicals to it. If you can't pronounce the ingredients, beware. Yep. Okay. I need a Dan one. He loves to clean when he comes over and starts laundry and does the dishes, takes out the garbage, cleans the bathroom, but I usually have to go behind him and do it my way. Laugh out loud, Tina. Catch you later. I have to get a phone call. All right. Talk to you later, Tina. Thanks for coming in. Let's see here. Bye, Han, says Sue. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have to get off here and get some stuff done too before um I go. But I will talk to you all later, okay? I'm getting I need to get up and move around. My legs are kind of giving me fits. All right, have a good day. You too, Sue, and everybody else, Liz, and whoever else is in here right now, and everybody who's lurking. Have a great day. I don't know who else is here. We'll talk to you all later. Have a good one. I'll be back on later today. Bye.